Okay then, so this time on Custom Works, we're going to be looking at paint, wheels, and lots of bits and bobs. I'm sure it's all going to be great. Let's get to the workshop. Right then, so on the tonneau truck, pretty much as far as the shape goes, it's all there now. Everything's been made, these nice panels, everything's sort of blended in, and it's ready for primer. But before I do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go under the truck and all the new bits, you know, this is a whole new fiberglass part. I'm going to paint underneath it in like a black stone chip, just so that when this goes for an MOT, it sits on the ramp, everything looks nice underneath. You know, it's not got like pieces of wood, things like, you know, this bed from the underside, it just looks like plywood. All of that will be blacked out, everything's blacked, everything's protected from the wet, and it all looks like uniform and nice. So, you know, I know ultimately it's a homemade car, but you never want any part of it to look like that. Also, as well as the underside, I'm going to do all in here as well. And if you look in here, you can see the original bumper, and it's got a lot of drips of like fiberglass and stuff on it. But I'll be cleaning all that off, painting all of this black as well. This does have a cover panel on it just here, so that makes things look neat and tidy. But always best just, you know, make everything look okay, and also provide some additional rust proofing for the original taxi chassis and shell. Okay then, so as you can see under here, you know, there's a lot of wood from where the bed's made, a lot of raw fiberglass under here. So what we'll be doing is painting all of that black, and my God, it really needs doing. This is no way for the underside of a car to look. And of course that wood, if it's not got something on it, you know, it's probably not going to last that long. But what we're going to do, put a really thick protective layer over all of that. Also, of course, I'll be painting this under bonnet as well, the area, because again, raw fiberglass is never a good look, and just one coat of stone chip just tidies the whole thing up. Right, so after I black the whole underside of the car, cover up all that raw fiberglass, stuff like that, after I did that, I primed the car. Now, I didn't film priming the car because I think you've probably seen me spray primer on a car before, so we didn't film that. So, as if by magic, here it is primed. Alright, and so, boom, the tonneau truck is in primer. Now, obviously, everything on this, I sanded down in 40 grit. 40 grit mainly off of the random orbital sander. Sanding at 40 grit with the random orbital sander gives a slightly smoother finish to if you've used 40 grit by hand. 40 grit by hand will always leave deep furrows in the filler, whereas the random orbital is a bit easier to cover with the primer. This has had probably, I don't know, 4 litres of high build primer on it. 2K high build primer, so got a really good sort of depth to it, so when I come to flat it down tomorrow, it's going to look a lot better. Now, all of this, which looks a little bit like some sort of dirty protest, is just stopper. I always use this Sicking stopper, and you get the 3M stuff as well, they're both good. What I always like to do is just come in where there's any pits or holes that are obviously low. You know, all your really obvious spots. All parts where maybe you have sanded with a block and 40 grit and you've got heavy sort of scarring from the sandpaper, go in, little skim over with this. Then tomorrow when you come to long block all this back, it's already done, it's already on, it's already set. So, bad bits are bits like this. And as you can see here, there's like some sort of pit, It's a deep pit. I'm never going to sand it out. And also, I'm never going to see it as good as this. At the minute, I've not sanded any of this, so I can see it. Once I sand that, it'll get filled with dust, and I might not see it. Well, I would see it at some point, but I might not see it as easy. So I've just gone over and anything like that. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but this is the sort of bit I talk about. You see, are these little pits here, and then you've got a lot of scratch marks from where I've sanded the edge of this to get the door shut, sort of there. So, all you gotta do, just go on super thin. Never go thick with stopper because it just ain't that sort of thing. But I've been over pretty much all of the car. So at least tomorrow, when I come to this, I'm gonna sort of hit the ground running. I've got a load of this on already. This sands up really easy, and I can really make a big impact on flattening this down in the morning. What I'm doing now, I'm going to go around the car and give it a guide coat, which is, I'm just using some rattle can, in this case satin black, don't really matter, as long as it's not grey, just so you can see. And what this will do, this will highlight any low spots when I'm blocking this down tomorrow. Just a good way just to help you out, really. So there's a lot of sanding to do on this. Got a long block, some sanding by hand, so it'll take quite a long time. But after this, it's going to be all nice and straight, and most importantly, ready for paint. Okay then, so this is it, finally. We can now paint the tonneau truck. Truck's looking pretty good. We've been round it and we've done that really boring thing of tack rag, panel wipe, tack rag, panel wipe, try and get the dust down. We've also sheeted off the rest of the workshop. I know probably to keep the dust down more, I should be wearing a paper suit. Thank you for Melvin Jarvis for giving me that tip. But as with most tips, I forgot to buy one, I haven't got one. Instead I've got to paint it. Next time I will have the white suit, I promise. But yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to go on this with the base coat, colour coat, metallic, and then we're going to go over that with a couple of coats of the 2K matte clear, and then boom, that should be it. It should look absolutely amazing. Okay, so this is a colour that we're going to use. It's like a dark grey, but with like a bronzy metallic sort of flip to it. So should really set this truck apart, really give it that sort of modern cool look. Let's get the mask on, let's get the gloves on, let's get some paint on. Let's do it. Okay then, so I painted the truck. A lot of paint like that, and it's come out quite nice. Here it is. It's like a grey, browny, metallic sort of bronzy colour, and it's come out really nice. You know, I would still say this is in matte, so it's tidy, but technically it is still a rat rod, and I'm just totally happy. I'd probably use this colour again on some. Actually, I like it that much. I'm not going to show you the whole truck now, just this little bit, and it's still filthy. It needs, you know, we've been putting this back together, so there has been some dust, some dirt. But next week, the big reveal, and maybe even some driving shots of it, driving down the streets, you know, freaking the squares and stuff like that. So until then, you'll have to wait to see it all. But just for now, oh yes, this luxurious colour, so nice. Okay, so the back wheels. These are some really big wheel trims. As I said before, meant for an Iveco, but I'm fitting them to these taxi wheels. So they are the correct diameter, just the wrong stud pattern, the wrong fixing, the wrong everything. So what I've done, this is the wheel. This is where I want to fit it to. I want that to fit into there, and that gives us, for very little money, a very cool looking wheel. With the original wheels, and this is meant to fit to the Iveco stud pattern, you get these brackets that look like this. I've chopped them down to this because we don't need that bit. They don't line up with this stud pattern. So inside of here, I've cleaned 2 patches off, and I'm going to weld these to the rim. Now, as with everything like this, it all gets a little bit tight because I've got to get these wheel nuts on there. So these have got to be quite sort of well spaced in. So if I sort of guesstimate that as being there, and then on this side, I get that between the 2 holes there. And then what I'm going to do, if you remember from a few episodes ago, I cut this centre from the front wheel trims. I didn't throw it away because I thought that might come in handy, but what that will come in handy for is to get the centre on these 2 pieces. So if I just pop that onto there, and that gives me my distancing apart, and I know that I'm good with my wheel nuts. So now it's time to try and get, it's very tight, but I'm going to try and get some weld down in there. So that's that tacked. And now I'm going in to put some decent welds on that so it don't fall off. Okay, and so now what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick look at the headlights on the tonneau truck. Alright, so we're looking at the headlights. Now the headlights on this, I want to just look black. And we've got these LED headlights. I've painted the chrome surrounds black, but also I've painted the light black. Now this is that paint that you black out your back lights with, but I've done it on the headlights here. I don't know if this is going to get past an MOT, but this is going to look awesome if they're the headlights. They're super bright, so the light should shine through them fine. These have also got the indicators in, so the indicator ring will flash up. But right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop them back on the truck, and let's see what they look like. Obviously, at the minute they're flashing super fast. It's because we've not got the rear of the car, the lights there. They've not been wired in yet. But that is looking super cool. Okay then, so the lights are in there. As I said before, I've got these trims, and these trims will go on like that. They're going to look really cool. I'm just going to hold them on for now though, just so you can see how it will look, because of course I won't put these on until it's MOT, because these just cover up all of the adjustment screws. So until it's done, I won't put those on, but it does look super cool. Right then, so what we've got is, we've got that tonneau cover and it goes up and down and it's all great, but I have to put like wires on the battery. Obviously in day-to-day operation that is not going to be good enough. So we need to make those remote. So you've got all your shopping, you press your button, in it goes. Now I've bought a few remotes and tried to fit them, and what I've tried to use is a winch remote because it goes backwards and forwards, but I've had a lot of problems with them. And I've got them to go one way and not the other, and I think it's because a winch is different. I think a winch uses relays where we're going directly to the motor, with the actuator. I'm thinking this is all right. So what I've gone for this time is, off of eBay, I bought this eco-worthy controller, and this controller it's literally for electrical actuators. You know, it is marked out like this is idiot proof. I am the man that can give idiot proof a test. So hopefully it's going to be nice and easy to wire in. The downside with this though is it has got this quite large remote. Yeah. No, the remote, the handset looks rubbish. It's ridiculous. What do you know? Managed to wire everything together. It was super simple to wire up. Just a brilliant bit of kit, and I'll leave a link below if you want to remote control, any actuators or motors. This thing is just so good, really, just so easy. And here it is, all done, and all electric tonneau cover, all on a remote. You'll have to excuse, it is quite dirty at the minute. And then down we go. And that remote works at such a distance. I've been all the way over there and it still works. I don't even need the aerial up on the remote or anything. It works from miles away. So like when you're in Tesco car park, you can, boom, open that so far away. People are like, whoa, how's it happening, man? It's magic. No, it's not. It's just a remote off the internet. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Everything worked out. Okay then, so that's it for this week. We've got the wiring is actually done on this. So maybe next week we will have it in for a MOT. I know I said that at the end of the last week's show, but this week it will be MOT'd, hopefully. And next week, don't forget, driving shots, finished truck being all clean and nice, and a full sort of tour. And also next week, let's get talking about some future projects. Until next time, thank you very much, and good night.